Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FoolTopia here in City Skylines. Guys, last episode we added in our passenger train line, which was quite a big thing to implement in an already expansive kind of area, city, downtown, countryside, industrial sections that we kind of made it kind of tear through. It was quite difficult to get it all in, but we got it all in and we've added in our first ever, well it's actually 2 lines, but our first ever 2 lines of passenger trains through FoolTopia. Now, it'd be really nice to expand upon it as we continue, but today I want to add in the 4th and final industry to FoolTopia, and that is the ore industry. Once we have that in, we have every type of industry, and then we can start to build every type of unique kind of factory, business, company, industry, whatever you want to call it, in the area, and start to provide jobs and kind of make FoolTopia the powerhouse that it should be in this tropical paradise. Now, if you guys are enjoying the series and want to see more, then make sure you smash that like button down below, and if you are new around here too, guys, please make sure that you do subscribe. Now, I've been working on little bits and bobs. We had like a huge traffic jam of trains. I've kind of like minimalized it a little bit. I made the 2 cargo depots here hook up to this line. It does go around and through this airport, but there's not enough traffic to slow down the trains and whatnot. What else I've done as well is I kind of simplified all this bobble. It's now my new word. It's now my new word that we're using to kind of bring stuff out there and vice versa. We do have a little bit of a traffic jam here though, and that's for the cargo trains, and they are simply going through here because they want to go to this airport. So we have a lot of exports going out at the moment, which is kind of crazy. And it's weird how they're all choosing this airport over the others. I don't know if it's whether because I've changed up slightly the route to these cargo export areas, because they would have been technically not closer, but it's just interesting to see how they pick certain ones over others. But it's not enough to cause any backlog, so we're kind of okay. The trains do have to cross over this passing right now, which it's not the end of the world. But what I could do is have its own dedicated line that kind of goes underground to connect. Now that's something that we can always try and approach and doing, but it was just a simple and quick, easy fix that at some point I will kind of, put a lot more time into this kind of complete junction to get it all sorted. But for now, we can manage. But anyway, I've been thinking about what areas to place the kind of ore industry in, and I think this is a really cool spot. The opposite side to all this, with the farming industry over there, the woodland, the oil, and we can have the ore just here. Now, the reason why it's good is because it's completely out of the way. It's got some rugged terrain, so we're mining of the hills and all the rocks. And remember, ages ago, we had the little cargo export just there. Well, we had the second train line running through that bypasses this cargo depot to go down to exporting. So we can make that simply come out, go down into this area. Now, it is not too far from driving and whatnot, but this is a cool little place to kind of connect it up to. So, I've made sure that there's plenty of ore in this area. There we go. Plenty, boys. We just need to zone the area as an industrial area. So we'll do this right now. Let's go for a big selection. There we go. Boom. Lynch sector. That's quite scary. That's quite a scary name, isn't it? And then we need to kind of then select a way of where we're bringing the vehicles in. Now, do we connect it up to the highway road here? I'm not sure how much traffic we're going to be expecting, or do I keep it completely separate and connect it up to this small little, or the smaller highway line here? I'm not 100% sure. We can make the road going in up here and put the main building on one of these little bumps overlooking the workforce. Could be a good little shout. But we'll see how it goes. Right, first things first then. Am I underground here? I am. I'm building tunnels apparently. I think that's when I was messing around with the train line. So let's bring this back to normal. and two-way highway road. Now, it's going to be a bit weird. Actually, we don't need to do that, do we? It's going to be a bit weird because I wanted to keep it minimalistic as much as possible. Let's change that for a second. I want to keep it as minimalistic as possible. So I don't know how much traffic is going to be built up on this. If it becomes too much, which it probably will be, then we can think about doing a roundabout here. That's what we'll eventually do. But I want to create or add in our little main building. So if I can flatten just this top off a little bit, let me get rid of this. Put that brush size down. So if I select, for example, there. So create a nice little mound, which I'll smoothen back out on these edges. That'll allow me to work with the main building. How big is the main building for the ore industry? Main building. Oh, it's tiny. It's tiny, boys. So, where is it again? It's here. Okay, so if I pick here, go out by 10. If I just do a quick L shape just there. And then the main building. Should I put it there or there? Let's put it on this side. Can go just there. So that's the main building there we get to work with. And let's now have this creeping through the area. So let's say this kind of bypasses down here, runs along here, and could have the potential to turn and go up there if we kind of go down that route. And then we'll have roads that come off this. So for this main building, we can have a road that just simply connects like that. So I don't want to kind of go over the top of this area. You know, I don't want to kind of create like a roaring industry, just enough to get by and something that's quite unique to the area. Now, what type of stuff have we got then? So these are, normally quite large, aren't they? Got some smaller ones. We do have like an offshore one, which is a seabed one. I don't know if we'll ever put that over there. And then the production buildings, they're also quite large as well. So we do need that kind of area that is not too flat, kind of too, a little bit flat, but enough that we can get like a solid production on the go. So we could, and this would be nice to kind of create that not mountain, but that kind of almost like a cliff edge for the highway. Because as if like, basically it's a quarry, isn't it? And you got to think of it as if like when they set up business here, they landscaped all the quarry as they were mining. And over time, they've managed to kind of get this vibe that they've been trying to go for. And again, I still want the main building. And we'll put the main building on its own cliff edge like that. And then we've got that nice little flatten just here where we can create this as an entry point. So I've got to be not too careful there because eventually I'll probably have to put a roundabout in. But it's quite nice to have it overlooking, which would be pretty cool. And we've got to work with the slope for the railway coming in too, so we just got to be a little bit mindful of that as well. I don't know why I'm using this road with the grass. It's not grass, it's bike lanes, isn't it? Why am I using a road with bike lanes? Should we change it to grass? Or is grass a little bit too silly? We should just give it industrial road, shouldn't we? That's what it should have been this whole time. There we go. And let's pick a point here that we come out by. Should I do that? Or should I kind of like create first my own solid straight line? And then we work a grid off this. So I went up to there, and then straight down, in the middle, like that. So actually, you know what? I won't do the. I'm on the ground again. Why always do that? I'll just do it like that for now, so we can work with then some of the buildings. But if I kind of bring that to there, slight little bend coming off. So it gives it a little bit of character. So once I've got all the buildings on, I know exactly what's going on. We'll roughen up the terrain around the edges so it doesn't look like I've just literally flattened it. It'll look quite nice. But we need first then the buildings that gather the ore. Now out of what we produce from the ore then. So we have extractor buildings that go into two process. I think it is two processing ones. We have the glass and we have the... What's the other one it kind of goes into then? It's the glass and we have the ore. Is that like raw ore? Push them through a grinder, break down separate size raw materials, produce ore, special good. Metals. Oh, metal and glass. Yes, I just realised what it was. So we have an ore grinding mill. Where's the buildings? These are the buildings that mine it up. So we've got the worker barracks, the maintenance buildings, all good. Small ore mine. We have a medium one. We have a large one. It's probably what we want to go with. We'll leave this area for the production buildings. Small underground one. We have a underground mine. Okay, right. Gotcha. So if I use this here, and if I bring it straight up, that's where the train can sit for exporting the goods. And then I'm going to try and do something with that filtering up, because that would be kind of cool. But if I used, let's say, right, bring that up to there and to there. If I just take a couple coming off, so we can really maximize this grid for just a second. Like that. I'm trying to keep it separate from this because we can use that road as they come down to export and possibly go in a loop. Do you know what? That would be a kind of a cool idea. So push that all the way around. Is that all going the right way? So you got to come in here to export and then go out. Back out you go. I won't turn this into a one-way road because you might have some back and forth going on. But it will make sense in just a moment. In my head, I got a perfect idea. So then I'd do a slightly larger gaps then in between those ones. And we'll roll with that. So, buildings or mines that produce the ore. So what will be the best one to squeeze in? What is that one? That's the large ore mine. Then we have the underground one. So the large ones there fit in wonderfully. So we'll have two just there squeezed in. And I can get some of these large underground ones. So do two. Well, let's do them this way. So one there, one there. Let's actually delete this one. And we'll get some medium ones just there. And these are the medium mines as well. Different type of style again. Because you got to try and keep it away from the main road to keep it kind of flowing. So there are kind of production buildings. Then we have processing buildings, if that's the right term you kind of want to go with. So bring that right down to there. Like that. We'll grab that over here for a connection for water. And then, of course, we're going to need power. Now, coal and oil, we don't want any of those. I'll just simply connect it up. So the closest... See, they're not even on the grid. It's actually quite far away, and I don't want to tear it through the national park. So I might just give it its own power supply. Yeah, not nuclear. I won't go down that route. Solar updraft tower. Thermal plant. I just want something basic and simple. A solar plant, how big is that? Would that look too weird in a place like this? I mean, thinking about the environment and all that kind of jazz. If I brought that out to there, what could I potentially squeeze in here? So that could go in there, but it's way too big. I could zip it to, or leave it to like a coal plant. Okay, we'll drop in a coal plant and that can power everything. So, those will kind of now all kind of, get set up and underway. It's got the power. The power connected. The power's all connected, so they will just now just tick along quite nice. I can have one-way roads that eventually connect to this as it's going straight out. We'll put in now the transport. Where's the trains? This is the trains. The cargo terminal. So we'll move it up a bit to there. And we'll lead out now with our train line. So if I pick a spot and let's say there and have that going pretty much straight down. To there. Right, we'll try and get this connected. I don't know how this is now going to go. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, pretty easy. I'll take it. Not too sure about this crossing. There's not too much traffic to worry at the moment. So we'll just see how that flies. And this is going to be the fun bit now, seeing what could be possible here. So what will be nice now then is to... I think I've got it selected on trains because I was messing about with it earlier. So if I select to there, we angle it from there to there to get that kind of incline. We know where it's going then at that point. If I pause for a second, just smoothing this out. Bring that down. So bring this out a bit more. There we go. It's got a jagged little edge as it kind of milks its way into the stronger side of it. Right, that should work pretty cool. Right, we're going to need some storage buildings for these. So pull it back into play mode again. So do a one-way system now. So we could have that road go straight down. And then put a couple of storage buildings just here for the ore. So should we go for the large one? Raw mineral, is that the largest one? It's a freight. Oh, it's ooh, damn, it's quite big. Is this? Oh no, I'd say that would have been perfect if it was sideways. That's ore storage, sand storage. It's the same kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah, there's nothing different it's producing. That's kind of thrown me off of that storage, the way they've named it. But it is just ore. I think it's just like what it visually looks like, but they're actually quite big. They were bigger than I expected them to be. But anyway, I'm going to stick one here. There we go. Again, give it a little bit of space to play around with. And actually, I won't place any there. That should be fine. We'll do some further up here. So if I bring that up, that's a one-way road. So if I drop one either side just there, and then get some of these production buildings down. So, right, these are the two big boy plants. Nice. Okay. All right, we do one there, facing that way, so it's away from the road. Do one there. And we'll take it from like that, and I'll do one there. Now, what I'm doing is making it be connected there, and having the traffic come down this road where there is no traffic at the moment. Keeping that road pretty free to flow. So we'll see how it kind of goes. Right, is that enough to give them water? Yes. Yes, it is. We got to do some worker barracks and stuff like that. They need a little bit of power too. So that's a normal type of road we've got here, isn't it? So I could then also have this winding down. Have it go to there.
boy. So that's 6. Trying to get it by 6 as well. What's it? There we go. So it goes down a different way. And there's a slope in that or not? Nah, there isn't. So keep that as it is, because I can put some like worker barracks and stuff like that going along down there. If they're not too big. Oh, they're huge. That's a maintenance building. Worker barracks. There we go. So we can dot these going down the hill. Get a couple just here. Because that really increases the efficiency of the area. And then that big boy maintenance building, I can squeeze here. Which will pass over the power to the station. Put that angle back on. Which I'll just kind of stick out a little road there for visual effect. Are we on fire here right now? Holy moly, we're on fire here right now. Right, should we give it his own little fire depot if we're really going to have fire like that? That's kind of worrying. It is, isn't it? So why don't I give it its own little fire depot then? Fire depot? Where am I getting these words from? No idea. And we'll see how the traffic evolves over time to this area. That'd be quite fun to kind of watch and take in. So let's see if I can do something going up these roads. Alright. Take one out of here. As it bends round, it's quite intriguing how it does all that. And can I get like a small one up here? Yeah, I can. I can. Small little plant there to do a little bit of mining. Why not? Looks fun. And we'll get some electricity running down to there. It's going to need some water as well. It's for the funsies, this one. It's just for that visual effect so you can kind of see it. I like it. I do like it. Right, anyway. Anyway. So it'll be a while before we start seeing some exports going out to over there. Anyway, the cargo train terminal. But what can we add to it to bulk it up then? So we got all the main kind of type of buildings that you would kind of normally have and need. Let's get a couple of visual things down then. So let's get a couple of rocks. So what's larger? Trying to see what the best one to go with would be. I'm thinking this type. If I span it all the way down. I like the idea of that. But it kind of creates that rough, jagged edge of rocks are pushed to a side to get this all underway. Right, looks a bit funky on some places, but we can solve that, guys. So we've got a really bulk all this up with like rocks and stuff. That's actually quite nice. I like this. You ever seen so many rocks in one area? I haven't. That now looks like they carved the this out and put all the rocks either side as well, carving out the tunnel lines and all that. freaking dope, mate. Put a different couple of styles down. And then we're going to paint it with... Is that the gravel? It fills in some gaps. So I want to kind of finish some of the edges up like this. With the gravel. Bring all these areas together. And where I can. Nice. It's production, guys. It's industry. It's beautiful. I'll add all that in there. So, not really seeing any exports. Oh, did I just see a train go by? No, I must have been seeing things. But yeah, we don't really see any train exports going out just yet. So that's interesting. Unless, oh, we start to see our, is this our first set of vehicles heading over there now? This has to be, right? Yeah, okay, now we're starting to do a couple of exports going out. So, paint certain gaps, nice. Now, what's it like if I did, yeah, you can't do that. That's what I thought. Now I can do like sand. Oh no! Whoa, 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 whoa! That's too big of a brush size. On some of this. Let's kind of add to the texture. Look at that little quarry now. There is so many rocks, but that's kind of what you get for those areas. I do really like this. I do really like it. So we need them to be producing more. That's what we can already tell that right now. We need more of our own production coming through. So the processing buildings can just simply flourish. That's what we're after, isn't it, boys? So we kind of need to add a few more in. Right, let's have a look then what we could potentially squeeze in. So we do have these nice little small ones that we can add in certain spots. Throw another one in there. Do have these nice big... That is a huge one. I'll squeeze that in there because it kind of looks a pretty cool place to drop it in. And it's quite daunting as you're driving on the highway by and you just see that. Like, damn, that's huge. That's huge, boys. That's kind of what we're rocking and roll with. But it gives us that little bit of extra production that we're going to be craving. So still haven't seen a train yet. But again, we don't have that many exports going out. But even though we're making profits somehow, so I feel like a lot of them are driving their exports out. But the main point of all of this is to have the ability to produce metal and glass. There we go. We've got a train now heading out. There we go. It's not particularly full. They all had to wait for a second. But it means I can then start to create my unique factories and stuff like that and really start to get on top of things. So always building up over there, which looks great. It's a cool little area. I do like this. You might think it's a bit overkill with all the rocks and stuff like that, but it kind of does bulk up the area. This is not a natural section of FoolTopia. This is completely all man-made. This is how it rolls. This is how it works. Because at the end of the day, it's a huge hole in the floor. It's a huge quarry. So what else is possible? So that is a little bit too big, isn't it? To squeeze any of these in. It's like I want to get a few more extra production buildings in, but I don't want to go too over the top. So what about like squeezing one just there? How does that look? See, it's not too shabby. That kind of works a little bit. Why don't we get that gravel? Just kind of do a little diagonal there so it kind of merges in a little bit more. I'll get rid of the purple floor a bit. Let's do a couple of paint dabs here and there. Around the edges. Make it look like the buildings are just sitting on top of this gravel. As if it's overspilled over the roads. You know what I mean? It's cool, man. I like it. I like it. So what are they exporting over here then that's coming out? Oh, it's the ore going to the coal plant. Smart. Smart, smart, smart. I like it. So we're never going to break records with this. Never going to break records. Provides jobs, which is pretty cool. So industrial overview right now. Shows you the workers as well. It's going pretty well. Nice. So yeah, it's never going to break records, but it's just enough to get our unique factories up and running. I might extend it over time. What would be kind of cool if I could do all the C ones, and like you can build like a bridge that goes over the highway that's only connected via that, and continue it on this side, which would be kind of cool. But it's all future projects. And I thought I was going to have to put a roundabout over here, but the traffic seems to be holding up just fine. It's a very small and simple area, so it's not too bad, to be honest, is it? So why don't I, because it's not going to be too much traffic, just then have that connect in there, so you can drive straight through if needs must. It's a pretty cool area. I don't know why, but I really like it. I really like it. So 11,000 coming in. Nice. It's all now our own production, which is plenty for the metals and the glass, what we're now producing. Man, we can really start on... now we've got every industry. We can have every type of unique factory coming in. It's a pretty cool thing to add in. It's quite cool. I mean, compared to the oil industry, which is quite plain, it's just I just built it, if you know what I mean. To then see something like this, where we put a little bit more thought and design into it, where it's only really just rock everywhere, but we kind of sanded it, gravelled it, and whatnot, and went to the concurves of some of the stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm happy. I'm happy right now. And guys, I think that's where I'm going to end it for today. I hope you did enjoy this episode of FoolTopia. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.